Okay, some of the PAP ministers, they say that there's an energy surge, right, because of the war. Now this is only because they are not in harmony, and use of nuclear is going to waste electricity. Nuclear does not actually create electricity. Okay, there's a falsity in this kind of belief. Okay, nuclear fission and fusion is actually wasting electricity. It does not generate electricity, it consumes electricity. And also for satellites, it is consuming a lot of electricity, even though it is using solar energy from the sun to convert to electricity. But this electricity is being used to maintain the position or the orbit of the satellites around the Earth. Right? It is consuming electricity in this way. So it does not create more electricity. And for all these other satellites on Earth, on top of buildings, on rooftops, right, they place all these solar panels to convert sunlight to electricity. But this is going to weaken our solar system, our solar sun. We need the sun to run the whole entire solar system. And in fact, even I can say it's the entire Milky Way. Right? We need the sun. Even the great central sun of Zion is affected, right, because of the galactic war. Some of these star systems like Orion and Reticulum, they do not like the sun, right, because of the poison. They are so poisoned until they think that they are dark. And all this sun is going to affect them. So in fact, they should embrace the sun so that the sun can remove all the poison from their body to stop associating themselves with being dark, right? For our solar system, if our sun is weakened by the solar panels, the sun is going to cool down, and that is going to disrupt the whole entire solar system. So you can see, recently with all this sudden increase of the number of solar panels on Earth, the sun has weakened and cooled down, and this is why there's a lot of flood that cannot clear because of this. There's not enough sunlight to clear up all the waters, clean up the waters, clean out the pollution in the waters and in the air, right? Usually, even if there's a bomb, it can still be cleared. But this is too drastic because of the solar panels that is overly in production. Okay, all these inventors or people making money through these solar panels did not, investigate whether they are overly producing this for the sake of profits and money making. Okay, these are very irresponsible people on Earth who did not think in terms of the environment, sustainability for all lives. Okay, and also even for Milky Way, we need the sun to survive. So recently I see that a lot of the star systems, they have been controlled by robots and Zion. There is a lot of use of computers, supercomputers, that is using DOS command, that is converting human body or starseeds body into crystals, stones, inorganic matters like glass, acrylic, microplastics, metals. Right? They're trying to convert everything to inorganic matters because of CERN effect. Okay, CERN has a lot of large impact in our body to change from our organic body form to inorganic, because they want to change humans to robots, and for some of these starseeds to diminish because of the galactic war. Alright, all this formula in CERN is not well thought out, or they purposely try to destroy certain race of the starseed species because of the galactic wars. Okay, there's multiple agendas over here. mainly because a lot of the starseeds or those Illuminati groups on Earth, they anyhow, mix with other people, collect those DNA, thinking that the more they mix with other people, the more DNA they have. But this is a falsity. If they did not manage the DNA well, right, if they are not in their true self energy, right, it can cause the body to create virus, create cancer, right, illness instead. And all these can mutate, right, and cause recombinant viruses. Okay, these are illnesses that is usually not well treated in hospitals, even if you take vaccines, because all these vaccines is also a kind of virus. When the earth rotates, the pollutants from other parts of the world is going to get into all these vaccines, which causes vaccines to be contaminated, right? So all these vaccines are not clean actually, right? But all these hospitals, they did not go and investigate because their nervous systems, their brain neural are also affected due to certain effects. In hospitals, there's a lot of radiations because of X-rays and all the MRI machines. And there's a lot of mixtures of the different technologies that some gangsters or handlers, they did not manage enough, or rather, they did not manage separately, right? They don't know how to handle all these things. They don't know what is it. How come they're handling so many things? They hear a lot of noise in their brain, but they don't know what is it, right? Because some of the sound frequencies like ultrasonic, there's a lot of different usage, right? Some are being used for industrial washing, right, to clean viruses. Some are being used in hospitals for the scanning machines to scan the body, right, for MRI, right? So there are different uses. If you mix them, that means, at night you experience, how come there's some washing in your brain? But actually it's meant for the industrial washing. It's not meant for the it's not meant for the MRI machines. So this is what I experienced, and I thought, what's going on with all this noise that comes to me when I sleep? Now some of these frequencies, they write somewhere in the supercomputers until you don't know how to deal with all this noise. So it kills a lot of people in this way. So this is why. And some of the light workers, they also use supercomputers to generate graphics like videos, all right, designs, and post it in their social medias, right? It is very impressive with all these colors, right? With all the graphics in beautiful artwork, right? But then all these super colors, okay, is so colorful, right? It's actually using human DNA to create all these vibrant colors in the supercomputers. All these vibrant colors comes from human DNA, right? They are actually exploiting the DNA from humans, the ones using the supercomputers. All right, so you're actually compromising your DNA by using supercomputers. All right, otherwise we have at least 12 strands of DNA. But because of all this usage of supercomputers, you may be left with just 2 strands, right? Even if you go and activate your DNA. Okay, so something for all these light workers to be aware of.